In this lesson we're gonna learn the song Under the Bridge that was originally released by the Red Hot Chili Peppers on their album Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic in 1991. And this is one of those songs where I find it very hard to do something that you can claim is an exact transcription. It's sort of strumming, it alternates between things that seem to be very composed and things that are simply strumming patterns and things like that. But I've tried to create something that's close to it. But moreover, I have also tried to create a guitar part that will sound full on its own, and that has led me to some solutions that might be a little bit more difficult than what Frusciante is playing. I've been watching him play it, and he does some things that are a little bit simpler, and I'm going to try to point that to you so you can do the same simplifications if you want to. With that being said, we are going to start with the intro. The intro is played with fingers, and I seem to remember having seen him play this, and he keeps the, I think he keeps the pick between the third and fourth fingers. So the fingering I'm going to use here is based on this idea. So we're just going to use these fingers. I think it's also when you're going to change to the pick, I think you have enough time to take it from your mouth or something like that. So if you find other fingerings more convenient, then use them. But I think it works pretty well with using just these three fingers. And when notating fingering, picking hand fingerings with when you're not using a pick, I use the classical standard where the thumb is P, the index is I, the middle is M, and if we should use it, the ring finger is A, so you understand that. So in our first step, we are going to take this chord, which is, we get it, you take the, you anchor the first finger on the second fret of the third string, and then you take the index finger on the second fret of the third string, yes. And then you take the second finger, the middle finger, on the third fret of the second string, and the third finger, the middle, to the fourth fret of the fourth string, and then you stretch the little finger, the fourth finger, to the fifth fret of the fifth string. So, and what we're going to do first now is going to do an arpeggiation of these chords, where we play with the thumb on the, and you sort of have this concept where you try to keep this finger on the second and third string, and the thumb is responsible for the root note. I think there's going to be some deviation from that, but here it's true. So what we do, we play first the fifth, and then to the fourth, like this, and then it's going to be the index finger on the third, and then we're going to go back to the thumb on the fourth string, and then we're going to jump on string to the middle finger on the second string, and then the first one. So the chords, what we're going to arpeggiate is this. So 5, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3. When it comes to strings, the fretting, that was not the fretting, that was the strings we're going to play. And the rhythm is going to be like this. So we do that once, and then we take a a F sharp bar chord, which is an E structure on the 2nd fret. And here we actually move the assignments. So the thumb is responsible for strings 6 and 5, and then it's the 4th and the 3rd with this finger. You do the same pattern. So we're going to alternate between those two, so you get this 3, 4. And so here you go. In step 2, we are going to connect these two structures with a single note line. So we play this first, and then you move the 3rd finger to the 4th fret of the 5th string, and you're going to play a descending scale. So you get 4, 2, shift string, 5, 4, and then you land on the root note of the next structure, which is the 2nd fret of the 6th string. So what you play is this, and you do this with the thumb. So you get this 3, 4. Once more. 3, 4. So, and then you connect this to the beginning again by playing. You have the 4th fret of the 4th string pressed down, and you just play 4, 2. And use the pinky 4, 2, stretch the pinky to the 5th fret of the 5th string, and then the 1st finger to the 2nd fret of the 5th string. So you get this 4, 2, 5, 2. So if we take it from here, it's going to sound like this 3, 4. So if we put this together, we get this 3, 4. It begins again. So that's the next step. Next up, we're gonna practice separately a motion that he does when he first time when he returns from the F sharp back to this structure, which is a D chord. So he comes from, and then, but it doesn't actually go directly to the 5th string. So what he does is, it then presses down the 4th fret of the 5th string, and he hammers on to the 5th fret, and then it does a slightly different arpeggiation, which will bring the fingers back to their original assignments at the 2nd and 3rd string. So what it does, it does the hammer on, then moves the 3rd finger to the 4th fret of the 4th string, plays with the index back to the 5th fret with the thumb, then moves the index to the 3rd string and play the 2nd fret that we have, and then the thumb plays the 4th string, and then it goes up to the top note with the middle finger. So the motion is this: 3, 4, and 4, and. So you give that some attention before we put it into context. Next, we're going to put that motion into context, and there's yet another motion that we're going to add. We start out with this one. And as we reach this top note, you're going to move the pinky, lift the pinky and move it to the 2nd string, and you're going to do a drill, a hammer on, and then a pull off, before you go to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So what you get is this: 3, 4, 4. And in this video we're also gonna play the entire context, so we're gonna add the chord. So what we're gonna play now is this: 3, 4. Like that. So here we go. addition to what we already have learned, there is yet another transition between from the D to the F sharp, and that it's a simple one, but we need to cover it. So what you do is this, and then you take these two notes and you play. You use the thumb and the index, and you play it once, you slide it up to the 7th fret, and then you play once more. So you're gonna first do a legato motion with the slide, so you get 5th, 7th, and then you strike it once, and then you go to the. So this motion, which is the alternate connection between the structures, sounds like this: 3, 4. So back to that one. So that is step 5. Ready to assemble the intro, and there's 2 small details that I need to direct your attention to. The first time when you start out with this first D structure, he plays an octave as well. So he plays along with the thumb. He also plays the 3rd fret of the 2nd string with the middle finger, and you can hear this sound on each of the chords. There's a top note, but I think, as it sounds to me, the other times on the chord, that is an overdubbed guitar. I'm pretty sure it is. So I think it sounds like it's just this particular guitar part has the octave, which is what we're doing only on the first note. So that's the first thing, and then you just play it just like we did on the second round. You add the, and then comes ending 2. So, and then it's the one with the first connection we used, and then on the ending 2 bars, you do that one, and you do the second connection, and just this arpeggiation is a little bit different. You do, but then, so after this one, instead of jumping just to the 4th string, you do 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 at the end. So that is the entire intro, which is coming up here. And we're now going to start working on the verse, and this is based around bar chords and with various fills. So we're just going to learn the chords first, and we're starting out with a E major bar chord in an A structure on 7th fret, which gives you this, and I'm pretty sure he plays this with this way. Either he doesn't bar the index finger, instead he just plays that like a single note, and then he bars the 9th fret with either the pinky, bars over three frets, like this or like this. It's a very common way of playing an A structure, and it's entirely fine if you don't need the top note. And you don't do that here, so it's just a good thing if it gets blocked out. So, and I really think you should use this fingering. Either that one or that one, not that one. So it then moves to a B bar chord, and he plays it with an E structure on 7th fret. So you just move from an A structure to a B structure. And here he uses a thumb bar instead, which basically isn't a bar, it's a technique in the strictly speaking. So instead of using the index, you use the thumb on the 7th fret, and then you play just these notes, the other notes that would have been in the bar chord. So you just replace the index finger with the thumb on the 7th fret, and then you use the index finger on the two in a half bar on the two string 1 and 2. So you get this chord, and doing it as I play it now is very uncomfortable with the half bar on the second and first string, and you don't have to do it because it's very seldom that I don't hear him playing actually a full chord. I hear him playing just these notes and sometimes this one. The top note is going to be there, but not in the form of a full chord. He does something like that kind of motions. So, and if you are new to this technique, it's generally very uncomfortable and unnatural, and this is a really good song to start learning it on. How it's perfectly possible to do this with ordinary bar chords as well. So you just I personally find it more difficult though to do it with once you have the thumb bar technique down. And one of the simplifications that see that Frusciante does, or simplification, that's probably the way he has composed it, so it's not a simplification, it's more that I am doing a complexification here, just to get, so if you're gonna play this and simply without a bass player, you're gonna get a full sound. So I see him quite often just do this and simply playing just these 3 notes and having the thumb just block out the E string. So and just do that, and eventually this kind of motion gets natural and it gets more easy to actually play the note. So let the song mature. Just if you find it simpler to do it without doing the thumb, just moving around these, just do that and then gradually add in the thumb bar. Anyhow, the chords are, as we said, we had an E in A structure, we then have a B in E structure, and then we move to a C sharp minor, which with the thumb bar will lead us to, instead of using this finger, you're gonna move the index finger to the 3rd string. So, and actually, when I hear this riff, this particular riff, the verse, when you do this bar, I don't hear him really playing on the 2nd string in this part. So you can do it that, and you slide it up 2 frets, and you replace the middle finger with the index finger, which in this time this case would be on the 9th fret. And the rhythm is the first on the 1, and then you have the second chord in the bar on the offbeat after 2, so you're gonna get this 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. So, and on the next upbeat after 2, you move to a G sharp minor, so you take this structure and you move it to the 4th fret. And then on the next offbeat, you're gonna slide it up 1 fret and play the major version, so you get an A major. You press down the 2nd finger instead on the 6th fret. So this part is gonna sound like this: 3, 4, 4. Once more: 3, 4. And then it's repeated, but you go directly to the A on the 5th fret, so you don't do the like that. So, and those are the main chords. So first you on the first round you play it with the, and then on the second round you go directly to the A. So, and this that will give you 4 bars that are then repeated, and after repetition of that, he goes to an E major 7th chord, which you get if you play like this: index on the 7th fret of the 5th, no need to bar, and then you go on with the power chord, so you get the 9th fret of the 4th with the 3rd finger. You then take the 2nd finger on the 7th fret, no, the 8th fret of the 3rd string, and the pinky, the 4th finger, on the 8th fret, on the 9th fret of the 2nd string. So it's 7th fret, 9th fret, 8th fret, 9th fret. So the chords, I'm gonna play it through here. It's gonna sound like this: 3, 4. And then to the major 7th chord, and you let that ring. So here you go. So now we're gonna start adding some fills to this, and the first one occurs on the C sharp minor. So we're first gonna play just this, and then instead of going directly to that chord, he plays these two notes. He slides up to the, so there's no thumb bar here. So you slide from the 9th to the 11th of the 4th and 5th string, like that, and then you bar the 9th fret of the 2nd and 3rd string, and you play this. So you alternate between the 2nd and 3rd and the 4th and 5th. So you do this, and then you go to. So the fill is 3, 4, 3, 4. So, and in this context, it's going to sound like this: 3, 4, 4. Which is what you're going to practice now. And when I said that was the first fill, it's not the first fill that occurs in the song, it's the first fill we're going to practice. But the first, in the beginning, there's also a fill on the B chord, and we're going to practice just that motion first. So the way I interpret it, you start with just the root note on a downstroke, and then you're going to do an upstroke on muted string. I have written muted strings on string 5, 6, but it doesn't matter where you do it. You do it like this. So, and then you're going to proceed to the 8th fret of the 3rd string. The finger is already there if you are holding the bar chord. So you're going to do this. So, actually, what you're going to do here then is a grace note from the 8th fret to the 9th, like that. So you get 7th fret, muted strings, or it's not a problem if the slight pitch as well, and you do a grace note from the 8th fret to the 9th fret. You then do a pull off to the 8th fret, so you get 3, 4, and then go to the 9th fret of the 4th string. So you have to move. I think it's you can do it with the pinky. I think it's more comfortable to do it with just move the 3rd finger. And actually, when you actually play this, you start with the chord finger and the place in the chord as a reference. But as you play it, there's no need to keep them pressed down. So what I do here, I have they close to their positions in the chord, and I lift. So the other fingers are not pressed down. That is gonna hamper your technique. So you are going to go to the 9th fret of the 4th string and then back to the 8th fret of the 3rd, and you can do it either by using the pinky or, as I do, the 3rd. So that's the motion you have on the B chord, and it sounds like this: 3, 4. So just try it out. And in the next step we're going to put these two fills together. So we're going to start here, we're going to do the B chord, and so on. And there's also you play twice on the first chord. So you're going to do down, down, up before you go to the B chord. And then you play the. You're gonna play, and here the motion that we just practiced. The reason I started out with just a single note on the 7th fret was just for reference. It's not played this way in the context. The fill in itself is from the upstroke. So what happens here? You play E, B, and then you play an upstroke on the 2nd and 3rd string, and then comes the muted note, like that. So you're gonna get this: 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So, and this upstroke, it's an upstroke towards the brighter strings. It's not necessarily need to be balanced perfect strings 2, 3, and it then continues to the. So what we get here sounds like this: 3, 4. Badly played. Better. Once more. Good enough. So you try to play it better than me. now reached the first A chord, and there's also a fill right after here. So I'm gonna play from the start. Sounds like this. 3, 4. What you do next is you move the index finger up to the 5th fret of the first string, and you do a drill with the pinky to the 7th fret. So you do hammer on and pull off. And then you jump to the where you have the 2nd finger, which on the 6th fret of the 3rd string. So you get. So the entire thing sounds like this. 3, 4. Once more, 3, 4. Like that. And this is a part where I see you might want to. I seem to remember have seen him play that when he moves from here, it doesn't do the thumb bar. He just do like that. And also here, if you have the thumb bar, it's quite a bit of resistance to move the index finger. So if you feel free to simplify that part. I have added the root note, as I said, to give the chords fullness. So practice that. And we can now assemble the verse, and this is more specifically verse 2. And we're starting out with exactly what we played. We're ending up on the, and then we start again, and we're now going to do the bar 3/4, where we end up going directly from the this chord to the A chord. So and it's the same idea. But you go directly here, and then here he arpeggiates the 3 top notes of the A chord, so the 1, 2, 3. So bar 3/4 is going to be like this: 3, 4. Like that. Then in bar 5, 6 you play just what we practiced previously, and then in bar 7 and 8 there's a simplification. Instead of doing the, he simply just plays the chord. So you get this: 3, 4, 3, 4, like that. And then this part is also simplified. So instead of playing, he does 3, 4, and then goes to the A chord. So it's just a slide and an upstroke there. So a bar 7 and 8. In addition, and when he gets there to the A chord, he then arpeggiates string 1 and 2. So bar 7, 8, 9, 10 is going to sound like this: 3, 4. and then to the E major chord. I'm going to play it once more. 3, 4. Like that. So now you try to put it all together. I drive on the streets 'cause she's my companion. I walk through the hills 'cause she knows who I am. She sees my good deeds and she kisses me windy. I'll never worry, now that is a lie. I drive on the streets 'cause she's my companion. I walk through the hills 'cause she knows who I am. She sees my good deeds and she kisses me windy. I'll never worry, now that is a lie. I drive on the streets 'cause she's my companion. I walk through the hills 'cause she knows who I am. She sees my good deeds and she kisses me windy. I'll never worry, now that is a lie. Now that we got verse 2 down, we are going to start working on verse 3. Verse 1, we're gonna discuss that one when we assemble the song. But in verse 3 he does some further variations on the concepts that we've just been through, and I think if you want to get on playing the song doesn't suffer if you play exactly the same as verse 2 on verse 3, so you can just skip to the chorus and then maybe go back and learn this if you want to. But anyhow, here's my interpretation of what he does during verse 3. So here he starts out by sliding the third finger up to the 11th fret. So, and then he does this bar thing on the 9th fret of the 3rd and 4th string, so you get. It then slides back to the 9th fret, and that starts on 1, so it's 3, 4. And then comes a version of the fill that we have previously learned, but instead of doing the muted upbeat, he plays the 3rd string where you have the 8th fret pressed down with the middle finger, and then goes back, and it does 2 upstroke, and then he plays that the drill fill. And throughout these patterns, I think for the most part here he doesn't use a thumb bar, so no need to press down that one. So what you will get in the first bar will be this 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And then he does the same fill, that one, but he plays these 2 notes single note. Instead of doing both the 5th and 4th string, he plays just on the 5th string, and then like that. And then he goes to the G sharp minor, but without the thumb mute. So, and then you go to the A, no thumb mute. So instead of, you get. So bar 2 will be 3, 4. And then he arpeggiates the string 1, 2, 3 of the A chord, like that. So that is bar 1 and 2. I'm gonna play it here. 3, 4. Once more. 2, 3, 4. And when it comes to pick strokes, do whatever's convenient for you. My suggestion will work, and I didn't play it that way this time. But anyhow, here you have a go. So in bar 3, 4, he starts with the E chord, just like we did in verse 2, but he plays just a single note. So instead of playing, he plays. Then he goes to the press down the thumb bar, but now you don't need to press down these fingers. So instead, you hold it like this. Thumb bar and first finger on the 7th fret of the 2nd string, second finger on the 8th fret of the 8th fret of the 3rd string. So you get this. So, and these 2 notes should be on 2 upstrokes, and then you bar these 2 strings, the strings 2 and 1 of the 7th fret, and you play it, and you make a grace note to the 9th fret. And then lift it up. So you get. So the first bar is like this. Well, it's the bar 3 of verse 3. 3, 4. Two, 3, 4. And then there's a version of the simplified where you just did like that, the ending of verse 2. But to my ears, it sounds like it's doing yet again doing these two notes single note instead of both string 4 and 5. It's just string 5. So he does this 3 4 3 4. Then going to the A chord, he plays just these two notes. He doesn't use a thumb bar, so you play twice on, and then you arpeggiate string 1 2 3 like that. So bar 4 is going to sound like this: 3 4. Like that. Once more: 3 4. So that's bar 3 and 4. And then bar 5 and 6 is exactly like bar 5 and 6 in verse 2, except you don't play full chords in the start. You play first just a root note, and instead of and so on, you go. So just replace the first full chord with just a single note on 7th fret. Those are bar 5 and 6, no need to practice. Bar 7 and 8 starts with a version of what verse 3 started with, so we do yet again this 11th fret, but instead of, in addition to in bar 1 and 2 we played just these two notes, we got instead going to play 3 notes. We bar string 2, 3 and 4, like that. So you get, and then you are just on take the notes of the B chord and you arpeggiate those, and the rhythm is going to be 3 4 2 3 4, and then comes the simplified C sharp minor fill with, just like we did at the end of verse 2. So you do, and then you end up on the bar chord on the A, the 5th fret, and I'm not sure whether you use the sounds or not. So bar 2 starts with 3 4, and then he just arpeggiates string 1 and 2, and then it's off to the E minor 7th chord. So bar 7 and 8 sounds like this: 3 4. And then you're going to go on to that one. Once more: 3 4. So those are bars 7 8, and so you just practice those here. Hard to believe that there's nobody out there. It's hard to believe that I'm all alone. At least I've her love. The city, she loves me. Lonely as I am, together we cry. Hard to believe that there's nobody out there. It's hard to believe that I'm all alone. At least I've her love. The city, she loves me. Lonely as I am, together we cry. And now that we got the verses down, we can proceed to the chorus. And the chorus is based around 3 chords. And the first one being an F sharp minor, which we're going to play as an A structure, an A minor structure, on the 9th fret, which will give you the index on the 9th fret of the 5th string, and then you get the 3rd finger on the 11th of the 4th string, and then the pinky on the 11th of the 3rd, and the middle finger on the 10th of the 2nd string. And for most part, that's the entire chord range. You're just going to play these notes, so you don't necessarily need to press down the bar chord, because this note, the note on the 9th fret of the 9th fret is muted. 9th fret of the 1st string is muted. So you stop there. So that's the first chord. The next chord is the E that we started out with, like that. And then you move this chord up to the 14th fret of the 5th string, and then you're going to go back to the F sharp minor. And if you're learning this song on a guitar without a cutaway, you can move this chord. Instead of going to the 14th fret, you simply go to the 2nd fret of the 5th and back, and play just the same thing. So what we're doing here is, and this has rhythm that I think is better off if you just learn by listening. So I'm going to play a couple of times here. So first on these 2 notes, on the first 2 chords, we're going to do 3, 4. And then here you're going to play a 16-note grouping. And then go directly to the F sharp minor. So you're going to do, and then play two times more. So we get this: 3, 4. Which is the basic idea for the chorus. But in addition, when you between repetitions after the, you are going to add 4 muted strokes before you start again. So what you're going to get is this: 3, 4, 1. And so on. So that's the verse, and it simply ends on. So, and then you're off to what I call the post-chorus. So here you go, practice the chorus. don't ever wanna feel like I did that day, but take me to the place I love. Take me all the way, and I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day, but take me to the place I love. Take me all the way, and I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. After the chorus, there's something that I have dubbed the Postchorus 1 and Postchorus 2. And Postchorus 1 is basically what we learned during verse 2, as you will see. And then there is a Postchorus 2. And we're going to start by learning the end of it, because it's some quite simple chords, but it ends up on some thing that might be a bit unfamiliar. So the chords you are going to play is simply you bar the 10th fret of the 2nd and 3rd string, and you use the 3rd finger, or for that matter you can use any finger you like, but this is my fingering, on the 12th fret of the 1st string, so you get this chord. So that's the first chord, and then you're going to move this 1 fret down, the bar 1 fret down, and the 3rd finger 2 frets down, so you get this. The 9th and the 10th, so you get first there. So, and then in my fingering, you just take the 12th fret, you move the index to the 12th fret of the 3rd string, and you then place the 2nd finger on the 12th fret of the 2nd string. So it's just 2 notes. So those are the 3 chords, and the 3 chords are and there. So, and what you do next is you play 1 bar of 16 note on the first, half a bar, 2 beats of 16 notes on this one, and then yet another 2 beats, bar 3 and 4 on this one. So what you get is this: 3, 4. So that is the ending of Postchorus 2 that you're going to practice here. And to place this into context, this is the end of Postchorus 2, and it starts out with some quite simple chords. So what you do here, this is an approximation. It's quite hard to hear. There seems to be some overdubbing, so this is kind of my approximation to what's happening here. So what I do is you're gonna play the 6th fret of the 3rd string with the 2nd finger, and then the index finger on the 5th fret of the 2nd, and then you simultaneously gonna have this the open 1st string ringing like that. So, and that's gonna ring on all these chords. So what you do, you play first this chord, then you move the 2nd finger to the 5th fret. So, and this might feel a little awkward. We're using this finger because we are preparing for what's going to happen during the outro. It might be more comfortable to do it like this, and you can do it. But during the outro, we are going to do something where you need to be able to do that kind of motion. So first this one, We then move it, so we have the same structure as we started out with. We get the third, but with the index on the third finger, so you will get the middle finger on the fourth. And then we move this one to the, so we have the index on the first fret. So we get this. And this is then, the rhythm is then, it's going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you do. Down, 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 up, down, up, down. And after 3 repetitions, you get to that part. So that is post-chorus 2. And after Postchorus 2 we enter the outro, and as I said, Postchorus 2 is sort of a pre-exercise to the outro, and you will understand what I meant now, because what we're going to do here is we're going to use these structures, and in addition we are going to add the thumb bari. So we're going to bari the 5th fret. We're going to fret the 5th fret with the thumb, and then of the 6th string, and then you add the 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the 5th and the 4th finger on the 7th fret of the 4th. So what you add is what I call an extended power chord to these notes. And this is, I'm pretty certain that this isn't exactly what's being played, but if you're going to play this song just if you're the only guitarist, I think this is going to give you a very full sound. And also it's a great exercise to get used to this by using the thumb bari. But as I said, this is a technique that doesn't come right away. So if it's very uncomfortable, I think just remove the thumb and play just these notes, but just mute the note like that. Use the thumb bari becomes a thumb mute instead. So you're going to play the exact same idea. You first have that one, and then you're going to move this finger, and you're going to move it, and with the exact same rhythm. So it's going to be like this: 3, 4. feel free to remove the thumb bar. And in the first bar, on the first chord, he plays. You hear it. It's a slightly different rhythm, so I included it for authenticity. So instead of playing, so in the first bar it's. And for all matter, you can use that rhythm throughout. So that is the outro, my arrangement of the outro. So just try it out here. And after the outro, the drums stop playing, and there is an ending. That is just the guitar and bass. And here he's doing small variations of these chords. Just small things. And if you're playing the song perfectly well, just play these chords. That's going to work, but since I want to make in this lesson, I want to present a pretty ambitious transcription, I have made an attempt to transcribe what he's doing, but this is, yet again, as I said, this will more be considered an approximation of it. So as I said, we start out with, we have these chords as the foundation and start. So in the start he does like this. On the first chord he plays down, down, up, down, and then like that. And you might think of it as 3 strings, 1, 2, 1, and then three strings. So you get this 3, 4, and then you add 1 string and 3 strings. So the first bar will be 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you move to this structure and you do sort of same idea. Just down. So you play down, up, down with 1 string and then 2 strings. And then you move to this this structure, but you lift the index finger, so you do this. Like that. And then he makes a little fill, which is simply open 2nd string, hammer on, and then he arpeggiates 1, 2, 3. So the second bar sounds like this: 3, 4, bar 1, 2 sounds like this. 3, 4. Sorry, 3, 4. So you try it out. In bar 3 and 4, you can sort of start hearing a sort of basic rhythm that he's using, which is kind of down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down. Sort of feeling that is lying underneath these variations. So what you get here is you start out with this motion. You are yet again on this the first chord, and you play first, in my interpretation, all 3, and then you do 1, 3, and you move to the 5th fret and you play them both. But here, as you move to this structure, you need to do another fingering. You move this way, so you get the second finger on the 5th fret and the third finger on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. So you get this. So, because what happens next? He plays the open 1st string and then jumps up down to the 5th fret of the 2nd. So you get this 3, 4. And then he makes a he presses down the 3rd fret of the 1st string and makes a pull off, and then picks the note. So you get this 3, 4, like that. 3, 4. And then you start moving the structures like this, and also this time you're going to use that one, but when you reach this structure you're going to do it with the index finger up, and you do this with this same feeling, down, up, down, down, and then you press down the 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string and you play up, down, you play string 1 and 2 and then string 3. So what you get is this, you get 2 notes, string 2 and 3, string 1 and 2, 1 string, and then 2 strings, press down 1st fret, play string 1 and 2, and then you go to string 3 where you have the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. But you don't need to play. This more to describe the feel, how I perceive the feel of it. So it sounds like this: 3, 4. You get this down, up, down, down, up, down. 3, 4. And then he makes a drill on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. So he drills hammer on and pull off to the 3rd fret, and then back to the. So bar 2 is going to sound like this. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So, and when I concentrate all the time, I'm saying he plays that, he's probably doing different fingers, but this is sort of how I can bring down the ideas I hear to one guitar part. I don't know, there might be some layering, I don't know. So, but it's very likely that it's not exactly played this way. But anyway, you see what I mean. So I'm gonna play a bar 3 and 4 here a couple of times. 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. So, just try it out here. In 5/6 we deviate from this structure, and instead we go to we play the top notes of an A chord. So if you just take an A chord and you play just the 3 string 1, 2 and 3, and you're gonna break it down to first string 2 and 3, and then string 1 and 2. So you get, and then you make the A chord an A minor chord, which is going to simply, you play the first fret of the second string instead of the second, using the index. So you do this 3, 4, and then you play string 1 and 2 and back to string 3. So you get this pattern: 3, 4, 3, 4. And then you press down the third finger of the third fret of the first string. You can use either the third finger or the fourth finger. And you do a pull off to the open string, and then go to the first fret of the second string. So that's the first bar, and it's going to sound like this: 3, 4. Two, 3, 4. Then you slide the second finger up to the fourth fret, and you play the fourth fret of the third string simultaneously as the open string. It's the same note, but it gives a special sound when you duplicate a note this way. So what you do is you play these two notes, and then you play the third fret with the index finger on the second string, and you pull off. You then move back to the second fret and you play these two, fret 2 on the third string and the open second string. So you get. So if I take it from the start, you got this: 3, 4. And then, as we have done it previously, you press down the first finger, and then there's a new arpeggiation, which I interpret as playing the first string, second string, back to the first, and then the third and fourth simultaneously. So what you do is, and then you add the third finger on the third fret of the fourth string, and you do up, down, up, down. So it's string 1, 2, 1 and then 3 and 4 simultaneously. And you got this structure. First fret of the second, second fret of the third, third fret of the fourth at the end. So if you put this together, we get this. 3, 4. Sorry, once more. 3, 4. That was more correct. Once more. 3, 4. So those are bar 5 and 6. And ending the song we get the bar 7 and 8, and it's pretty similar to what we did in 5 and 6. So we start out with the top notes of an A chord, and what I interpret it as playing first 2 string and then all 3. So you get do down, up, and a pause, and then you mute the notes, and you play the top notes of an A minor. Same thing like we did in bar 5, 6, but with a different rhythm. So you get this 3, 4, and then you do the string 1, 2, and then 2, 3. So you get. Then comes the drill that we did in one of the previous bars. So drill from first fret of the second to the third. Hammer on, pull off, and then back to the second fret of the third string. So the first bar sounds like this. 3, 4. And then, like we did in the previous video, you move the second finger up to the 4th fret, and you play these 2 notes simultaneously, and you do 3rd fret, hammer on, just like you did, so but with this rhythm. And then you go to 2nd fret of the 3rd and open 2nd. And he just quietly hammers on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. So you get this 3, 4. So the ending, bar 7, 8, sounds like this. 3, 4. Once more. 3, 4. So that is bars 7 and 8 coming up. And it's been a long journey, but now we are at the goal. We can now start playing the entire song. So if we look at the song overview, there's no need to dwell very much with that one. I've written the form at the top simply to save space. And you find tabs of everything we've been through. As I said, the verse 1 is simply the chords of with the addition of during the first time you go to the G sharp, the C sharp minor, you do the simpler version of the fill, not the, you do the. So verse 1 will be like this: 3, 4. And then you just play the chords just like we did in the first step of the verse, and you end up on the E major chord, B7 chord. And if you listen to the original version, you might think that there are notes missing. I think there is another guitar on top of all these things, making the chords sound bigger than they actually are. So with that said, just try it out here. Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend is the city I live in, the city of angels. Lonely as I am, together we cry. Drive on the streets 'cause she's my companion. I walk through the hills 'cause she knows who I am. She sees my good deeds and she kisses me windy. I'll never worry, now that is a lie. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day, but take me to the place I love. Take me all the way, and I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend is the city I live in, the city of angels. Lonely as I am, together we cry. I drive on the streets 'cause she's my companion. I walk through her hills 'cause she knows who I am. She sees my good deeds and she kisses me windy. Now I'll never worry, now that is a lie. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day, but take me to the place I love. Take me all the way, and I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day, but take me to the place I love. Take me all the way, yeah, yeah. It's hard to believe that there's nobody out there. It's hard to believe that I'm all alone. At least I have her love, a city she loves me. Lonely as I am, together we cry.